Hi, I'm Laura Allen, Associate Editor of No-Till Farmer magazine, and I'm talking today with No-Till Farmer founder and editor Frank Lessiter about no-till, some of the historical moments he's witnessed with the practice over the years, some of his achievements in promoting the practice, and where he thinks it's heading in the future. Frank, thanks for taking the time to speak with us today.
Hey, it's a pleasure. I'm always glad to have you come by and talk to me about no-till.
Sounds good. You've been involved in writing about no-till for nearly a half century. First of all, can you describe what the practice is?
Gosh, it sounds like I'm old, which I am. Anyway, it's basically the first trip across the field is going to be with a planter or a drill, and you're going to do an area which you plant in maybe 4 or 5 inches wide. You're not going to make a trip with a disc. You're not going to make a trip with a field cultivator or a chisel plow. So there's a lot of savings just in trips across the field. And you're going to leave residue on the surface instead of turning it over. And the real benefit of the residue is it holds the moisture, and the soil temperatures don't get extremely hot in the summer, and then there's also better erosion control.
With the launch of our new website, we've started a section on No-Till 101. Can you tell readers why you think it's important to offer this information to them?
Well, I think it's really important for people who are just getting into no-till that they see what's going on. But at the same time, I know from experience that some of the people who've been in it at 20 or 30 years will go to this section because they would like a review of, and a refresher of some of the basics. I remember one year at the no-till conference, we ran a session on the basics of no-till, and most of the people in the room who I talked to afterwards and asked them what they were doing in the room had been no-tilling for 20 or 30 years. And I said, what are you doing in here? And they said, well, we just like to get a review of the basics once in a while. So I think this is going to be a really good section, not only for people thinking of getting into no-till, but even a review for people who are veterans with it.
Can you describe some of your earliest memories of no-till and how you came up with the idea to start the No-Till Farmer newsletter?
Well, in 1972, I went to work for another publishing firm. I was looking for a new challenge as an ag editor, and did this. We bought the magazine in 1981 and went out on our own, but in 1972, we came back to Milwaukee. We'd been living in the Chicago area, and I immediately saw this as something that had some real opportunities. When we started in 72, there were about 3.3 million acres of no-till, and it's grown to almost 100 million acres today, so we've made real progress. But some of that early work, we went down into Kentucky at the Harry Young farm, where this all started on 5/10 of an acre in the mid-60s, and we stopped at George McKibben's place at the Dixon Springs Agricultural Center, and the University of Illinois had, and really got off to a great start. And there was the idea was that we would start a newsletter and a magazine, and overnight we had 3 or 4 times as many people as we thought we'd get as subscribers right away.
Thanks for watching, and for more information, visit www.no-tillfarmer.com. Frank, thanks for taking your time to speak with us today. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Laura.